Okay, we're going to just make a start back with a much smaller audience, but no less valuable. Lots of lunch. I hope you're hungry for that. Look, thank you very much for your participation this morning and for your engagement. And we're just going to pick up now. Specifically, the second session now is going to cover the quality and impact body. And Emer will talk you through that, the detail of that, and the concept note really around that as well. So before we move to Emer, we're going to go through the accountable department policy perspectives again. So I will hand over now to Catherine Powell from the Department for the Economy.
Thanks, Geraldine. Good news for everybody. I'm not going to go through all my slides again because ultimately our policy input here is in relation to the whole programme and the success of the programme, which is underpinned by the quality and impact body and the support that they give to projects, to achieve the outcomes. So I just have one slide. So the Queen's evaluation showed how the key role that the quality and impact body played in Peace for Youth and supporting the projects in helping the projects to recruit, and especially during the COVID period. So we're really delighted that we have the opportunity to have this again in the PEACEPLUS Youth programme. So as I said before in the previous presentation, we are keen to provide as much support as we can to the project, but we're also keen to support the quality and impact body as well, particularly in and around the progression outcome. So what we were planning to do is to work with our colleagues in the career service so that they can provide advice and guidance to both the projects and the quality and impact body in that sort of central role to help with that progression outcome, and also maybe with recruitment as well, because obviously the careers advisors see the young people when they're leaving school or maybe they're disengaged, and can identify places for them to go. So that's really sort of where we will look to support the quality and impact body. It's a really, really sort of important resource, as I said, to support and encourage good practice across the programme, across the project, and also to develop the capacity of the youth work professionals and the other staff by bringing people together so that they can share similar experiences. And just lastly, just on that sort of linkages to DFE programmes, I know we talked this morning about all the programmes that are there, and maybe they're not accessible to everyone, or maybe they're not seen as being for a particular cohort of young people. But we really want to work with the projects and the quality and impact body, probably through the quality and impact body, to sort of help the projects to sort of bring the young people forward to those. So that's me. I'm all done. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Catherine. Okay, I am going to take you through now the policy perspective on behalf of the Department for Children, Equality, Disability, Integration and Youth. So similarly, a lot of this was set out earlier. And as set out in the previous presentation, supporting quality services is identified as one of the transformational goals in Ireland's Better Outcomes, Brighter Futures National Policy Framework for Children and Young People. The document recognises the role specifically of quality youth work in supporting young people's transitions and reaching out to particular at-risk cohorts of young people. The former National Youth Strategy also sets out a number of principles that are highly relevant to this call, namely that government and other stakeholders should work collaboratively with vertical and horizontal communication and cooperation to achieve more effective services and supports for young people. Professionals and volunteers who work with young people are respected, valued and appropriately supported in their work. And that services for young people are quality assured, outcomes focused and informed by evidence. As set out earlier, Ireland is developing a successor national policy framework for children and young people. The published blueprint sets out that services available to children and young people must be high quality, appropriately timed, and focused on realising positive outcomes for children and young people. The blueprint also notes the importance of collaborative culture of all partners working together effectively to ensure all children and young people can be happy and thrive, and efficient use of available resources. Experience and evaluation of the current children and young people objective have highlighted the integral role played by the Quality and Impact Body in enabling the transformative work of the projects, and especially in supporting projects to overcome emerging challenges and share best practice. This is a model that works, and the call document will seek to carry those key learnings forward. The Department wishes all applicants the very best with their applications and encourage reference being made to the policy documents which are outlined here. Thank you. I will now hand you over to Emer Bush to go through the detail of the investment area in 3.2 in relation to the Quality and Impact Body.
Thanks, Geraldine, and good afternoon, everybody. My name is Emer Bush, and I am going over the next few weeks and months to provide investment area 3.2 children and young people with pre-application support specifically for the appointment of Quality and Impact Body, for which we will issue an open call. In advance of that open call, we are inviting interested parties to submit a concept note, which will just give us a very high level of information about your project idea, after which I can meet and discuss with you and look into that further. As from today, that concept note will be downloadable from the SEUPB website. Also, what you can do either today, those of you who are in Dungannon here with me, there's a QR code on your table which you can scan and upload your details onto the SEUPB website to show that you're interested in this theme. And if you're interested in talking to other potential partners and interested parties. So that's available as well. For those of you who are listening afterwards online, you can go online and add your details. And it is a way of networking, making contacts. So let me start into what the PEACEPLUS Youth Programme is about. Because in order to put forward a concept note and then an application to be Quality and Impact Body, you will have to be well versed and understand the PEACEPLUS Youth Programme. So my first few slides are about the programme. Earlier this morning, we had a gathering of the youth sector, and there was a full presentation given as which was kind of a refresher session. So you can go back and look over those slides, and I will do a quick catch up now. The key features of the PEACEPLUS Youth Programme are to enhance the capacity of children and young people to form effective, positive relationships with others of a different background, to develop their confidence and future potential, and make a positive contribution to building a cohesive society. It also seeks to build the capacity for young people, and the age range is 14 to 24 years, who are disadvantaged, excluded, marginalised, have deep social, emotional needs, and are at risk of becoming involved in antisocial behaviour, violence or paramilitary activity. So it's about targeting a very specific section of the young people for the programme area from Northern Ireland and the border region, who are excluded, left behind, and have particular issues that mean that they have disengaged or that they find it difficult to engage, and building their confidence. But it's also very much peace building, good relations building. And under the auspices of PEACEPLUS, all of the investment areas that we run have this sharp focus on building peace and prosperity, and the PEACEPLUS programme is certainly not the least of those. It very much is focused on peace and prosperity. Participants typically will not be in education, training or employment. That's the nature of the target group we're looking for. And the majority, although not all of them obviously, but the majority are likely to be that 16 to 24 age group, although the eligible age range is 14 to 24. The PEACEPLUS Youth Programme is looking for outcomes around that the young people will form positive and effective relationships with others from a different background. So it's about bringing young people together, forming bonds across communities and understanding, but very much also about confidence building, about aspiration raising, and about enhancing future potential prospects and trying to put in place foundations that will improve their life circumstances in the years to come. And again, I'll underline that, how it should make a positive contribution to a more peaceful, prosperous and cohesive society. So the projects that we fund under the Peace Plus Youth Programme, those are the three overarching outcomes. They're very high level outcomes that they will seek to contribute to. How will they do it? They will do it through a programme of activity that they will present to us, 4-year programme of activity that will be focused on 5 outcome areas. And each of those 5 outcome areas will have significant programmes of activities attached to them. So it's about bringing about positive change in the form of clear, meaningful, sustainable, what we call distance travelled for participants. So how they progress in terms of their thoughts, beliefs, attitudes, behaviours. That's their distance travelled vis-a-vis 5 outcome areas. Good relations. So how, as a result of their participation in the Peace Plus programme, they might themselves personally contribute to lower levels of community division, sectarianism, racism, and make a positive contribution to reconciliation. Some of these will be the peace builders of the future. Citizenship, how the programmes will develop the capacity of the young person to participate and make a positive contribution to family, community, social life in terms of their citizenship. In terms of personal development, this is about developing their social and emotional soft skills. And there are a couple of new outcome areas that we've added to the Peace Plus Youth Programme. The 4th is employability skills development. That's another one about developing soft employability skills identified as essential by employers around perhaps problem solving, communication, team building, bonding with others, the soft skills that young people need in order to enter into the world of employment, training, volunteering. And finally, positive progression. And we've learned from evaluation of the last programme that not all of the young people do progress, and we don't expect all of them to, but let's raise the aspirations here and see if we can put in place foundations for how they might progress, how they might seek to progress, and what looks like positive progression for them. So that one's about effectively supporting participants during the programme to identify and prepare for positive post-programme progression, as well as their next steps following completion of the programme. And we're asking Peace Plus youth programmes to put in place mechanisms to be able to measure that for up to 1 year after completion. So let's move on to the role of the Quality and Impact Body. This is the 2nd programming period in which we've appointed the Quality and Impact Body. Learned a great deal from the last time. The benefits of having it were huge. And we're very pleased to be able to make provision for this again in the programme. There's a couple of slides on this, on the role. 3 bullet points on this, 4 in the next. So these are important. The role is to provide a quality assurance and impact support role to those projects that shall be funded under Peace Plus Youth Programme. Fewer than the last time. Probably 6 to 9 is what we anticipated, but we won't know until we know. And last time there were at least double that. And they will be delivered over a 4-year period. The Quality and Impact Body shall be independent from the projects, although work closely with them and work closely with us, SEUPB, in assisting in the delivery of the theme. Your role is to help maximise the impact of the programme by developing and nurturing a strong change and outcomes focus by and across delivery of funded projects and supporting a high-quality youth work approach. Now, the projects are very familiar that they must do this. Their high-quality youth work approach will be built in. Their outcomes focus is built in. So the quality and impact body is not going in to put this in place. It is going in to bolster, support, strengthen this. But you will be going in to support, I believe, a group of well-developed, high-quality projects and enhance them. Slide 2 about your role is you will also facilitate quality and impact with all projects using a systematic and highly project-friendly problem-solving focused approach. Of course you will, it stands to reason, but it's about collaborative working with the projects. They will come to us, SEUPB, the funder, with problems, but they may also come to you with problems that are less about the funding, but a bit more practical in terms of the youth development, the youth delivery. You will undertake structured visits to projects, as well as delivery of appropriate centralised activities and events. And I've got another slide there where I talk more specifically about these activities, events, training. You will maximise the opportunity for a participatory approach to relevance and effectiveness within the programme to make sure that they stay focused. So in particular here, I might highlight the relevance to peace building, the relevance to good relations, the relevance, keeping that sharp focus on what makes a project Peace Plus. Yes, they're youth projects, but as I said this morning, these are not necessarily youth projects that you can package and deliver in full outside of this programme area. They are specific to the Peace Plus programme area. They're designed for young people in Northern Ireland and the border region of Ireland who are facing many of the same issues as other young people across the UK and Ireland and Europe and wider, but very specific issues that are relevant to this region as well. And those projects need to address that. And finally, you will facilitate the sharing of learning and best practice. And you will also offer advice and guidance to projects on the achievement of their outputs and results. It is not your responsibility for them to achieve their outputs and results. You will have your own outputs and results to meet, but to guide them, assist and help with that, as will SEUPB. Okay, so anticipated actions for the quality and impact body. You will work first and foremost collaboratively with SEUPB as your funder, with whom you will enter into a contract, a letter of offer. And then you will work with all Peace Plus youth projects using co-designed approaches to deliver and implement a programme of highly relevant and valuable support process. When I say co-design, that does not mean that when you put the application forward that the design of the project is not there. It must be in the application, but it will be a flexible approach will be adopted according to the needs of the 6 to 9 projects with which you work, and you may adjust that and we'll understand that. Excuse me. Some of the actions that I'm listed out here are the change in outcomes focus that you'll work with them along. So talking about the individual change and achievement of participant learning. So how they work with young people in terms of fostering a change in outcome focus for the young person. Learning and sharing of best practice between the funded groups, between the funded projects. Direct practitioner support, first and foremost with the youth workers. An impact practice role. Quality assurance of the projects and the delivery of the projects. Providing advice and guidance, for example, to projects on follow-up opportunities for programme participants, and that would be around the progression advisory service. So one of the earlier slides there where I had the 5 outcome areas, you'll note that progression is a new area and it'll be a new area for the quality and impact body to advise on as well. So we should expect that you could help them around advice and guidance regarding follow-on opportunities for participants, including, and with these young people, we're not necessarily talking employment. It could be community engagement, volunteering, and then it could be the more formal and traditional routes of training, employment or education. There's this, let me talk about the quality and impact body's role in evaluation, which will be important. The quality and impact body shall be responsible for contributing to and helping facilitate the PEACE programme evaluation for this investment area. Any concept note put forward should build in capacity for this and discuss it. The responsibility for evaluation may involve, but is not limited to, engaging with the evaluators appointed by SEUPB for the evaluation of this investment area, for gathering and providing data for evaluation indicators set by the SEUPB. These will be your own indicators. The projects will have indicators and they will collect data for their indicators. Shortly, I'll move on to what the quality and impact bodies indicators are. You will also help guide funded projects on the establishment of specific indicators and achievement of objectives for their project. That's around the distance travelled. That's around how projects measure the change in behaviours and attitudes of the young people. And the quality and impact body should have expertise and knowledge to be able to advise projects in how they best track that distance travelled. And finally, guiding projects on the use of tools and mechanisms that we provide for data collection, reporting and measuring change. So that really is a preamble around the role of the quality and impact body, where it sits in the context of the PEACEPLUS Youth Programme, and how hopefully you will, and it's not that you will definitely add value, quality, innovation and impact to this part of the programme. The concept note now. So the concept note is not a formal part of the application process. I might stress that initially. It's here to help you. And it's a short, high-level form that is downloadable from the website and the links in the presentation. In putting a concept note together, if you choose to do so, you're putting in place the foundations of your project. You're saying, yes, I'd like to enter into a dialogue with SEUPB, and it will be myself you'll talk to unpick it, to talk further, to see what potential it holds. What you put in the concept note is not set in stone. Don't worry, it doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to, your budget doesn't need to be spot on, but it is what it says. It's a concept. I should say any organisation appointed in the role of the quality and impact body, that's lead partner and project partners, will not be permitted to be involved in the delivery of a project. So you can't be a lead partner or project partner in a PEACEPLUS Youth Programme. I'm here to advise you in the next few weeks as you complete the form, and then I'm here once the form is in to meet with you and go through it and talk further. And the completion date is the 10th of May, and my email address is up there, and please send it through to me when available. So, the concept note, the next few slides will take you through the 5 questions, what they ask, and the sort of responses that I'm looking for in completing that concept note. The first question, many of these will mirror the application form, not precisely. As I say, they will help put in place the foundations, but they'll build on, they'll help you steer you towards what the application will ask for. First question, what is your contribution to the PEACEPLUS programme, including your contribution to the defined outputs and results of this investment area? So tell us how you will effectively support projects with the quality of project delivery, quality of project activity, delivery of change for participants in relation to the 5 outcome areas. The problem I generally projects have is they've too much to say in a short period of time, in a short word count limit. So you're just getting the high level details here for me. Then the next bullet point is what you will do to assist projects with the achievement of their outputs and results. But that's their outputs and results, it's not yours. So it's just how you will keep them on track, what you might do, and equally how you will help them in the achievement of their outcomes, which is the distance travelled. In terms of outputs, outcomes and results, I have put up the theory of change in the presentation because I think it's a useful chart, and that's for the PEACEPLUS Youth Programme, and you're assisting them in the delivery of this. However, in question 1, what I also want you to talk about is how you will contribute to the achievement of the outputs and result indicators for the quality and impact body element of the programme. So this time around, we are setting indicators for this project. We have come to these figures on the basis of the last programme, on the project funded, on the staff. We realise we'll have fewer projects, but we know we'll have bigger projects and the numbers of young people, etc. So these indicators they're informed and they're in the basis of evidence and information that we have. The output indicator for the quality and impact body is that 298 staff from the PEACEPLUS Youth Programme will be recruited to participate in activities, events and training offered by the quality and impact body. That's the number of staff from the projects that you will recruit on. You will be doing many more things than this, but this is specifically around training. And the result indicator is that 229 staff will complete a programme of activities, events or training. Now, a person can only be counted once. If I am a frontline youth worker and you're delivering a training course over a number of months, you're just counting me once on that. So having said that, we would expect you to work with them more than once, but you'll just count them once. Question 2 is about the quality of project design. I put this slide up first because it relates to the slide we've just had. In the quality of project design, you should outline what you're offering in terms of the training to meet those indicators. These are very broad, high-level examples. So, for example, you'll be providing training for different jobs, for different job roles, and providing a minimum level of requirement for participants in training. There's a couple of examples there around the number of people, the number of sessions, hours, and the period of time. I need you to be more specific in terms of what the training is. But again, there'll be flexibility in this. And as I said in the earlier slide, part of this, you will define it in your application, but there will be an element of co-design when it comes to working with the youth projects themselves. We would suggest, experience has shown that the training isn't delivered over too much of a prolonged period because there can be staff turnover, or it can be better sustained if structured over a tighter period. Indeed, it might. Some of it, you may well deliver at the start. Some of it, in blocks at the middle when certain learning and a number of cohorts have gone through and they may require refresher training or new training. Project design, more questions are around what is your proposed approach to the role requirements of the quality and impact body. So those slides I had earlier in the presentation, there were 2, one with 3 and one with 4 bullet points. Look through those roles that we're asking you to do and how will you meet those roles. Describe the project level activity proposed and how you meet the programme approach, principles and outcomes. How will you encourage a high level of commitment to quality and impact and create that open problem-solving dialogue with projects that we funded? In this question, you should also demonstrate how you will support projects in the process of co-design with participants. So in your instance, in the quality and impact body, your participants are the staff and the projects, to make sure that you can maximise the effectiveness and relevance of activity that they deliver. And the final slide around the quality of project design: how might you facilitate the establishment and operation of cross-border participation mechanism for young people engaged in the project? Well, how will you support the projects to do that? There is a question specifically about cross-border. So in project design, you will touch upon cross-border, but there's a whole specific question coming up about it. Does the quality and impact body, does this, whoever's completing the concept note, does this consortium have well-established existing networks across the youth sector and within the target communities for the programme area? So that's a very important part of putting this bid forward, that you've got the relevant organisations in your partnership that can do this work, both thematically and geographically. And look at how you will support the delivery of projects and personnel to develop or expand their professional practice and community networks to benefit the programme delivery. The third question, as I said, we would move on to cross-border and cross-community. And this is about how the consortium, the partnership bidding to be a quality and impact body, can best support or can demonstrate how they're able to support projects to deliver high quality and impactful good relations on both a cross-community and cross-border basis. What are your credentials for doing this? And how can you demonstrate to us that you're the right organisations to work on this programme area? How will you help projects introduce the good relations aim of the programme appropriately and meaningfully with young people? You'll not be looking at a blank page from this. The projects themselves will have to address that as well. But you're, as it says in the title, you're bringing quality to what they're doing. How will you ensure your support is tailored and responsive to young people's experience of and interest in this area? In the consortium, is there an organisation that's got a particular strength around this? And you must demonstrate the ability to provide the scope of services required across the entire programme area, that is Northern Ireland and the border region of Ireland. So does this partnership have the strength to be able to do that, have got the links, the reach and the ability to deliver across the entire programme area? Project is most likely to be implemented by a partnership between organisations that can demonstrate capability to deliver the numbers required on a cross-community and a cross-border basis and work with a mix of participants. We understand, though, that you will be restricted according to the personnel that the projects recruit. So normally when I stand up here and talk about cross-community, cross-border participants, it's within the power of the project to recruit those on that basis. That I acknowledge that it's outside of your capacity to adhere to community splits, because you are training the staff that are with him, that are employed by the organisations. So you're not being held to community background split. Data should be, however, obtained to record nonetheless gender, religion, community background, ethnic, racial group breakdown of participants, of those whom you train, but you haven't got targets the way that other projects would. Question number 4 is around the partnership and the implementing arrangements. In outlining the team that you're proposing should manage this part of the Peace Plus programme, please show their suitability and experience to deliver in this project in terms of youth work experience or relationally focused experience, on how you have knowledge of a strengths-based youth development support, of how you can deliver that, familiarity with and an understanding of the needs and interests and aspirations of the target group, so the young people. Experience and expertise in supporting those young people who are difficult to reach and hard to engage. So despite the fact that it's not the quality and impact body who is directly doing this work, as the youth organisations, the quality and impact body should still have expertise in how they can best do this. Understanding the roles and responsibilities of the projects in engaging with the target participants. So helping, supporting, guiding and giving them advice. We did hear earlier this morning, I had some questions around being able to recruit those young people and retain those young people. So it's supporting the projects and how they might best do that. Having an understanding of the learning and development processes that are foundational to the Peace Plus Youth Programme. When the call for applications comes out, but for both the Peace Plus Youth Project and for the Quality and Impact Body, we will have a significant section of that which will be dedicated to the learning and development processes that are foundational. So there'll be lots of information in there. And also an ability to support practice and quality with a strongly outcomes-focused programme. So the Peace Plus programme, I think, is very, very clear in the outcomes that it seeks. We want to show flexibility in what the programme's able to do, but we're flexible within clear parameters of what the Peace Plus programme is asking of projects. Another question for a slide, we're still on the partnership and implementing arrangements, that the partnership must have necessary organisational capacity to manage a multi-annual, large-scale EU project with multiple stakeholders. The total amount available under the Peace Plus Youth Programme is €47 million. 45 million is going to projects and 2 million has been set aside to go out for a call to appoint a quality and impact body. So it's a sizable project in and of itself. The quality and impact body, much like the projects with whom it will work, must have appropriate and robust safeguarding policies in place. And you should demonstrate the ability to engage with projects across the entire programme area, which will require travel, outreach, contact. You should also have the capacity to provide the scope of required services for the duration of the project lifetime. So projects are going to be 4 years, therefore the Quality and Impact Body project will also be 4 years. You shall demonstrate a robust and consistent approach to internal monitoring and evaluation, that's your own, but advising the projects also on their monitoring and evaluation. And you should have practical arrangements in place to identify and mitigate risk. The huge risk that came out of the blue for the last programming period was obviously the pandemic. And perhaps that has made us more alert to significant risks that could happen in the next programming period. But please have a look at risks and what you might put in place to mitigate those risks. The final question in the concept note concerns value for money. You should have staff positions or budget for staff positions for frontline roles. Those would be the staff that would be working with the projects, working with the youth workers, doing help, support, mentoring, sharing, learning of best practice and training, but also adequate support roles, project support roles in place such as admin, finance, monitoring and evaluation and communications. They're all eligible staff roles. Unlike the Peace Plus Youth Project, which operates a simplified cost option of 40% for programme costs vis-a-vis the staff costs, this one is different. The concept note and the budget will ask you to apply 15% of your direct staff costs towards overheads and 7% of your direct staff costs for travel and accommodation. Any project delivery costs you will cost in the normal way in your budget. if you do decide to submit a concept note, you will see in the concept note that it's a very high level budget. You will probably, and I would advise you to have a spreadsheet that sits in the background to work that up, so that when we come to meet, we can discuss that. Excuse me. And as I already said, this is an open call for the appointment of the Quality and Impact Body, but it shall be one grant of up to 2 million made to one suitable consortium. Okay. This slide is around the lead partner role. It's a standard slide in all of these presentations, and it's very important to underline the role of the lead partner, which is a significant role in the management of PEACEPLUS funding. The lead partner, in acting as the lead partner, will accept overall responsibility for ensuring the implementation of the entire project. You may have 1, 2, 3, a small number of partners that you work with, and they will work with the lead partner under the auspices of a partnership agreement, which will make clear the roles, responsibilities, reporting arrangements, etc. But ultimately, what I'm concerned with, what SEUPB is concerned with, is the relationship primarily between ourselves and the lead partner, who will be responsible for project coordination, delivery, implementation, financial management, administration and reporting, which will include budget control, claims, cash flow in place, sufficient allocation, reimbursement of partners, accepting risk in the event of ineligibility. Also reporting, that's the responsibility and function of the lead partner, who shall coordinate record keeping, oversee your monitoring and evaluation for your section of the project, and maintaining records for the delivery of the 2 million grant. Communication in this slide is really about communication between the lead partner, the partners and SEUPB, how we work together in terms of managing a letter of offer. But obviously the Quality and Impact Body itself, its own project, has a huge role of communication in communicating with the 6 to 9 projects that will be funded and working with them. Training. This is about the training that SEUPB may offer you in the event, in the course of rolling out the project, and making sure that you're on board with anything that we offer. Policies and procedures. You will, as lead partner, be required to make sure that safeguarding systems, staff support, that all appropriate and relevant policies and procedures are in place. In short, the lead partner is a significant role, and you take overall responsibility for ensuring that the project is delivered in keeping with the letter of offer and the contract that's detailed in the letter of offer. Now, this call will be issued shortly, hence there's quite a tight turnaround to complete the concept note. I am available pre-concept note completion, so if you have any queries or issues, problems, drop me a line or lift the phone and talk to me about that. I think the requirements are quite clear. Hopefully we've made it quite clear for concept note anyway in this presentation. As I say, it is available on the website straight afterwards. Go back over and consider when you're putting this in, can you deliver on this scale? Are you proposing to be a lead partner or a partner? Are you seeking a partnership? And you know, the potential partner notice board is there on the SEUPB website for that. Think about the finance. Can you manage the cash flows? It's a smaller scale project than those of the direct PEACEPLUS youth programs projects, but it's still a significant project in its own right because it will be €2 million. Make sure you meet all the requirements of the quality of support required. And remember that the entire PEACE programme, not least 3.2 PEACEPLUS youth programme, has a laser sharp focus on peace, reconciliation and prosperity. And know how you are going to monitor targets and evaluate impact. So this shows some progression from what was done previously for the quality and impact body part of the programme. And there is progression around targets, and there is progression around some more clarity around what will be expected. So I'm delighted to be able to present to you today and talk to you, and I look forward to ongoing conversations over the coming weeks prior to submitting the concept note. And then once it's submitted to me, I look forward to meeting with you. Thank you for listening, and we'll take some questions now.